to include large emitters like China, the United States, India and Brazil. My government will also advocate firmly in international negotiations for the appropriate recognition of New Zealand's unique agricultural emissions profile. This push will be buttressed by increased public investment in research and development to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from livestock. Honourable members, an unwavering focus on lifting education standards will be a critical aspect of the government's plans for strengthening New Zealand's economy. It will work to modernise New Zealand's school system to ensure it responds to the varied needs of our young people and that it prepares them for the demands of tomorrow's employers. Of particular concern to my government is the long tail of underachievement that it sees in our schools, with as many as 1 in 5 young New Zealanders leaving school without the skills and qualifications they need to succeed. Steps will be taken across the board to confront this problem. In early childhood education, particular focus will be given to ensuring early childhood providers respond to the needs of New Zealand families and that children from less privileged homes are better engaged in preschool education. In primary schools, the introduction of national standards in literacy and numeracy and the new requirement that every pupil's progress be assessed against these standards will ensure that problems are identified early and confronted. In addition, parents will be better informed about their children's literacy and numeracy progress through a new requirement that national standards results be reported in plain English. These steps will be critical parts of my government's intended crusade to improve literacy and numeracy standards throughout New Zealand's school system. In secondary schools, many students will get more out of their education as a result of my government's Trades in Schools policy. This will include the development of specialised trades academies, expanded opportunities for school-based apprenticeships, and enhanced trades and technology-based learning opportunities. At the senior end of secondary school, the newly elected government will introduce a youth guarantee. This will provide 16 and 17-year-olds with an entitlement to free school-level education at a wider range of institutions, including polytechnics, wānanga and private training establishments. In tertiary education, my government will work to streamline the bureaucracy, ensure course quality and to respond better to employers' and students' needs. In recognition of chronic workforce shortages, it will introduce voluntary bonding schemes based on student loan write-offs for graduates in hard-to-staff areas across a range of professions, including doctors, nurses, midwives, vets and teachers. Honourable members, I have outlined today a number of steps my government will take to strengthen the New Zealand economy, both for today and for the years ahead. My government has made it clear that its plans for the economy set the foundation for a wider set of aspirations. The new government is committed to improving the lives of New Zealanders across a range of fronts, and its policies will reflect this. In particular, it will address the frustrations shared by many New Zealanders who have conveyed to my government their concerns at the high and climbing levels of violent crime throughout the country. My government has a number of policies and approaches for reducing violent crime and making our communities safer. Criminal gangs and the pea trade they support will not be tolerated. Youth offenders will be targeted earlier and more effectively through a new and expanded range of interventions and youth court sentences, including Fresh Start programs incorporating military-style training and intensive mentoring. Sentencing, parole and bail laws will be strengthened to ensure that sentencing decisions reflect my government's view that public safety should be paramount and that parole is a privilege, not a right. Additional police officers will be recruited and a greater proportion will be deployed to South Auckland. Police will be given new and enhanced powers. These will include the ability to issue on-the-spot protection orders to protect victims of domestic violence and the ability to take DNA from offenders at time of arrest. Victims of crime will be provided with enhanced rights, support and follow-up services from the government. New focus will be brought to rehabilitation within prisons with enhanced provision of drug and alcohol services and the introduction of compulsory work programs for prisoners. Honourable members, my government is also committed to improving the efficiency and effectiveness of the public health system. It observes that in recent years a significant increase in public health spending has not been matched by improved or increased health services to New Zealanders. My government intends to reduce surgery waiting lists, to cut wasteful bureaucracy and to address the health workforce crisis. As highlighted in its agreement with United Future, my government will make better use of the private sector to deliver public health services, including reducing elective surgery waiting lists. It will also give health professionals a greater say in the running of the health system, and it will require district health boards to work more collaboratively to improve patients' care. The government's welfare policies, like all its policies, will help people to help themselves. They will reflect its belief that paid work is the route to independence and well-being for most people, and that it is the best way to reduce child poverty. In this area, as in all areas of social policy, my government will establish new relationships with the non-government and voluntary groups that are so important to the functioning of a healthy society. By working more closely with these groups and turbocharging their efforts, my government will tap into the resources, ideas and collective goodwill of New Zealand communities. Honourable members, my government is impatient to see Māori standing strong, economically independent and fulfilling the complete promise of their potential. For New Zealand to move forward as a nation